I was not on mute, but my production team let me know they could not, my YouTube production team let me know that they could not hear me. Um, so they say third time is a charm. I certainly hope so. I hope third time is a charm. Okay. Hello again. Hello, hello, hello. How are you, darlings? Welcome back. Can you hear me, babe? Okay. Ricky Million is back. Ricky Million 8753. He said, yes, indeed. So third time was a charm. I'm just going to talk briefly and then read a brief segment, and we may have to break this into parts. So, I touched base on the tarot archetypes yesterday in regards to Make the Stallion and Clay. I'm not going to do a summary on that. It was a long video. It was 40 minutes. And but I do want to cap on the blueprint, the hero versus the rival, the chariot, tarot archetype would be the dance, the angel versus the chaos agent, temperance, grosse bon ange, which means little angel in French, the protector versus the accuser, the emperor, which is loco in French, the stat versus the gambler, the wheel of fortune card is the market card, the life service versus the anchor, the star, which is the Zoetel card. And I'm going to end that there. Those are things that she was looking for and did not receive. Now, I met with the coven this morning, like I do every morning. They meet at 7 o'clock a.m. We're covering the entire Bible. Well, Rev said she's on like she got like 4 YouTubes, 4, ValerieLove.com. She got 4 YouTubes, 4 TikToks. 4 Instagrams. You doing a lot of work. She said that. And the reason she said is because she says, nobody's about to silence my voice. She says, we are in the resistance. We're pretty much the heretics. Questions that came to my mind while reflecting later after the conversation about the Bible and the summary and her sharing her story. I need my lovely pale friends to come to the front. My dear love tubers. So I've got some questions. Okay? So I'm trying to figure out why all this resistance. So that's the number one thing. Because if the first bones were found in Africa, that means more than likely, I'm just saying, if the first bones are found in Mother Africa. Now, I'm going to let you fill in some blanks, okay? We're going to play a game called Fill in the Blank. Now, we can't create all the colors of the rainbow from you, my fair-skinned friend. The creator, if the creator is love, then the creator likes, that's why you see us all here, diversity, equity, and inclusion. It doesn't like just pale people. That That's why you have a variety of flowers. I would think this is common sense. That's why you have a variety of flowers and roses and trees and birds and type of sharks, that's why you have variety. You don't have just the white crayon in the crayon box. You don't have, let me see. You remember you, as a child, went to go play in the sandbox during recess on the playground? You don't have identical pieces of sand in the sandbox you play in. If you go to visit the beach, it doesn't have, if it's not man-made, if it's created by the creator, not one piece of sand on the beach is the same. But for some reason, in humanity, there has to be this resistance. I'm trying to wrap my brain around why there's this resistance, okay? This colonizer consciousness. So if my dear pale friends could go ahead and answer that in the comment section. Dear heart, I would greatly appreciate you explaining it to me. Oh, good. Ricky said he's working to get his funds to really make his dream come reality. Awesome. In the beginning, should have been peace. I imagine when the creators made the world, it didn't start in chaos. It started in order, harmony. The universe, the womb, birthed out of the womb was peace. So also the detest for women and this and that. Don't understand it. We are all star seeds in the cosmos, okay? And that's how we should treat it. Now, I'm going to read a little bit today on Willie Lynch. Now, there was a little Spanish girl on the internet who no longer has a job that used some derogatory statements that are sometimes used in people's artwork or music or as a what's up, depending upon if you in the hood or not. I won't be using that word. For the reading of this, we're going to replace it with ninja, like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle. Okay, ninja. All right, now that we have that understanding, okay, and I will read sections. It's quite long, and then I have some work for us to do after in regards to a rebuilt society, replacing division with virtue. Once we have finished the reading and the discussion, okay? If you've never heard of the Willie Lynch speech, it is not an authentic historical document. However, it seems really strange to me that the issues we have today in 2026 are still steaming from points in this writing. Let's get into it, baby. Let's dive in, okay? All right. So this is commonly treated as a latter piece of writing, often dated to the 20th century. Rather than a real 1712 speech That doesn't mean you can't read or analyze it, but it's worth presenting it in class as a text about ideas and rhetoric, not verified history from the letter itself. The infamous Willie Lynch letter gives both African and Caucasian students and teachers insight into the brutal and inhumane psychology behind the African slave trade. It reveals the materialistic viewpoint of Southern plantation owners who saw slavery as a business. And the victims of chattel slavery are mere pawns in an economic system marked by debauchery, crossbreeding, interracial graping, we're going to read between the lines on some of these words, and the mental conditioning of a people they considered subhuman. Equally important is the international nature of the European economic, political, and cultural climate that influenced the slave trade. Within the time scale of African history, this was a relatively short period, roughly 1.5 centuries, from the most intensive phase of the Atlantic slave trade to the rise of European administration and dominance. Long before this, the slave coast has been charted by the Portuguese. In the region west of Benin, between the Volta River and Lagos, European traders traced a cultural history linking local populations to the earliest Yoruba settlements to the north and east. Those were considerable debates during the colonial period in the United States. In the late 1700s, the national government focused heavily on slavery and the increasing number of enslaved people being traded and imported into the South. The first major debate in Congress took place in 1786, addressing whether taxes should be imposed on imported slaves. During discussion of the slavery duty bill introduced by Mr. Clymer's committee, Parker of Virginia proposed a tax of $10 per person on imported slaves. Why didn't y'all do your own work? Why you need slaves to do it? Why are you so lazy? What in your mind thinks, oh, we need slaves or servants? I need to understand this. Okay. All right. All right. He made it clear that the tax was intended to discourage the trade and expressed regret that the Constitution prevented Congress from prohibiting importation entirely. The proposal was unwelcome and sparked extended debate. Smith of South Carolina urged postponement, citing the serious consequences for his state. Roger Sherman of Connecticut stated he could not reconcile treating human beings as taxable goods alongside wares and merchandise. Jackson of Georgia opposed any restriction, arguing that states like Virginia should allow others to meet their labor needs before imposing such burdens. Some members of Congress argued that the nation should remove the stigma of slavery. Jackson responded by asserting that enslaved people were better off in bondage than as freed individuals, and that the proposed tax would be unjust and burdensome. So, let's talk about something right there. Control issues. Man. Want to control other people's birthright. The birthright given by the Creator. The birthright that don't have nothing to do with you. Not a thing. Not a single thing. But you would like to own somebody else's birthright. And what they do with their mind, all the chakras, baby, their mind, their body, their voice, what type of labor they do, Black people jobs. Man. Yeah, that's some serious control issues right there. Whew. All right, we had some technical difficulties today. I do apologize. Yeah. So this existed then, and it still exists today. These arguments represented a significant development in pro-slavery ideology and prompted opposition from Congressman Madison of Virginia. The debate encompassed both moral and legal considerations. One side invoked the rights of man, seeking to preserve moral integrity in law. The other framed slavery as a civilizing force, even claiming that contradictions in southern states were superior to those in Africa. Folks stay steady trying to fight Africa on African resources. And again, I go back to the beginning of the video. The first bones were found in Africa. Okay, some education needs to happen and some research between these lines. Okay? As Holland of North Carolina, let's stop at the word superior. Ooh, this is deep. So, white superiority. No, baby. White narcissism. This whole superior thing. It's okay to be proud of and take pride in whatever ethnic group that you are in. But that whole thing about, let me even superior. We should take that word out of the dictionary. Okay. As Holland of North Carolina stated, if this were true, how could the trade be considered immoral? Others dismissed morality altogether. Joseph Clay argued that the issue should be viewed strictly from a commercial perspective. In contrast, opponents insisted that by the laws of both God and humanity, enslaved Africans were entitled to freedom just as any other people. Somebody got some sense. Despite moral objections, some were willing to leave the matter to slave-holding states, as long as federal law did not explicitly endorse slavery. While moral arguments continued, there were no denying the immense profitability of the system. Cheap labor that was not cheap. All right. It cost very much. Slavery fueled trade in molasses, sugar. Oh, okay. I'm going to conclude here for today. textiles, spices, and vast amounts of unpaid labor for cotton production across southern plantations. We will come back to this on Sunday, my loves. Have a fabulous weekend. Mwah.